I'm Dan Chriestenson. I'm recently elected school board member in the Gresham-Barlow district, and brand new to that. I won by 16 votes. So school board races aren't supposed to be exciting, but mine was.
So when we tell people that every vote counts, you know that that's true.
Every vote counts. I learned that the part of our district goes into Clackamas County, and I will never again ignore those voters again. I nearly lost because I didn't pay attention to those people. So if you're running again, pay attention to all of your voters. I definitely recommend it. I really don't have a dog in this fight, other than the fact that I did tell my voters that I would fight for increased choice in public education. And that's why I took the time to come today. My children have attended, they've been homeschooled. My children have been private schooled. My children have attended public schools, brick and mortar schools, and more recently have been in virtual online schools. I've loved about the state of Oregon that I've had so many public school options to provide my children as we found the right fit for them. You'd asked this morning about Odyssey Wear. I happen to have a child here who's been in the Clackamas Web Academy, and she had asked a chance to address you, so I'm going to give her that. She's going to be a paragraph of mine here. And I also have two sons who are with me here today who came out of the Clackamas Web Academy and then went into the Clackamas Middle College through the online program. And my oldest son, who is here with us, graduated. He got his high school diploma about a week ago, and then 10 days later he got his Associate of Arts degree, all as part of this program. I'm very, very bullish on the notion of maximizing the choices available to our students. My children have benefited greatly from having maximum number of choice. And so I'm going to defer a paragraph of my time to her, and I will be brief right after that. This is Siobhan.
Siobhan.
Hi, my name is Siobhan. I am 11 years old, and I used to go to a public school in Gresham from 1st grade to 4th grade. And then I take dance, and I like to sing in front of people. And so I didn't get that much of that chance to do that because I was in public school. And so when I went to Clackamas Web Academy, I had more time to do dancing in front of elders at retirement homes and things like that. After going to Clackamas Web Academy, I learned much more than I did in public school. And my two brothers went to this homeschool, and with the help of my teacher, Jeff Wheeler, and Odyssey Wear, I learned much more, and I would like to stay in CWA, Clackamas Web Academy, if I can, because of my loving friends and teacher. Thank you.
Now, I have been told that my children's position in Clackamas Web Academy is not at all in jeopardy, and I have no reason to not believe that, although given some of the ambiguities that I've heard about this bill today, I do have a few doubts coming out of this as to what the status will be 1 and 2 and 3 years down the road for students who choose this. One of the two issues that I've not heard addressed real strongly here today, one is the limitation of online charter schools 7th grade and up, and which of course would exclude students like my daughter, who's in the 5th grade, going into the 6th grade. In the future, apparently that would not be an option available to someone like her, who, as she said, she's a dancer and she has auditions and performances and training, and the schedule has fit very nicely. That option would not be available out there. I hate to see that go away. Another issue that's not been, I've heard, not addressed real strongly here is the issue in the legislation that addresses that parents would have to go to their district to receive permission. I hope you can appreciate there's something repugnant about the idea that I as a parent would have to go hat in hand to a government official and ask for your kind permission to do what I believe is best for my children. I mean, look at it this way. Now, which of you, if you have children, would tolerate being required to come to me and a committee of my fellow musicians? And yes, I've been a professional musician. I'm a recovering musician at this point. It's a glamorous way to starve. Children, don't try it. But what if you had to come to a committee of fellow musicians and receive permission before enrolling your child in piano instruction? You feel your child has talent and aptitude for piano, but frankly, we're professional musicians and you are not. We are far more qualified than you to determine what is best for your child musically. Further, we feel that if you must give your child music instruction, they should learn clarinet from one of our members here in your own area rather than piano from an instructor across town. And guess what? Our decision's final. As you can tell, that reeks a little bit of arrogance, and I'm going to tell you, just as a dad sitting out here reading this legislation, it reeks of arrogance. It reeks of we know best for your children. I find it ironic that our society has codified into law the right of any woman of childbearing age to freely choose the destiny of her own child, even to the point of choosing whether it lives or dies. But once that baby is born, suddenly we assume she doesn't have the competence to rightly choose what is best for her child. So we're going to interfere with that choice with legislation such as that is before this committee today. I think another irony is that the notion that online charter schools are somehow providing a backdoor voucher system for homeschoolers. I see it exactly the opposite. There's so many, like our family, we tried homeschooling, and we were so thrilled when we could move from homeschooling to a public school option. This has been wonderful to have a public school option, part of our great system of public schools, where we can send our kids. And so this really provides a bridge, not out of the brick and mortar school and into homeschooling, but it provides a bridge the other direction that did not exist prior to this. And it's very important that we keep this for our children. And I feel that rather than taking students offline, more should be doing to get more students into online learning applications, such as those offered by Oregon's online public charter schools. You know, with the budget crisis, and we got this ubiquitous lament about class sizes being too large, online charter schools offer a highly cost-effective answer to this problem. As I now go to sit on a school board and we talk about the issues of infrastructure and the cost of maybe building new buildings, there are thousands of classrooms right now available across the Gresham-Barlow district. One of them's at my house. We have thousands of classrooms available, and we need to become innovative within our districts and outside of our districts in beginning to develop these technologies to provide greater options at a lower cost to the taxpayers. And I find it interesting, I've heard testimony here today that one of the problems is that money designated for a district is now being diverted to someplace else. Respectfully, that money isn't meant for the district, it's meant for the students in that district. It's meant for their education. And if the students in that district are being educated, and they're being educated in the state of Oregon, and the money for that education is coming from the state of Oregon and staying in the state of Oregon, frankly, why is it any of your business where I choose to school my child within the public school system of the state of Oregon? They're my children. I know best. And I know you're smart, wonderful, intelligent, loving, caring people. But I've been given this responsibility. And I want the maximum number of choices, and that's why I'm here, is as a dad and as representing these voters that voted for me. Technologically, I feel like, you know, we should be doing more to get them online. I feel like technologically, this bill represents a bold leap into the 1980s. It takes us back to an era when, okay, everything's in the brick and mortar because somehow we think that's better. Now, the technologies, Siobhan had a teacher come to the house once a week. The school provided her with a laptop. She had field trips. She had lab opportunities to get it online. She had more individualized attention here, and the class size was not an issue. Let's be clear, the OEA is a private organization. It represents 47,000 members. And on their website, in support of this legislation, they expressed concern about, quote, public resources ending up as private gain. Well, what is this legislation other than an attempt to consolidate more public resources to end up as gain for members of a private organization? Their interest is not the 3 million people who attend or have family members attending Oregon public schools. That's not their job. I don't fault the OEA and other groups behind this bill. Their job is to represent their members and seek to give them advantage. Of course they're going to promote bills like this. But your job, representatives, and my job now as an elected official, is to represent the hundreds of thousands of Oregon families who need more, not less, choice in education. Thank you.
Thank you very much.